I think I have an idea.
Most people have normal size ideas. I usually have big ideas. My name is Skip. I'm an artist and musician from Orlando, Florida. Now, I make all kinds of art and installations under my brand Franchise Industries. However, sometimes those ideas are just too big to execute by myself. So I like to join forces with some of the best artists, craftsmen, and local businesses in the Central Florida area in order to help make these big ideas come to life and then to share them with live audiences and with you at home.
Today we're in the Mills 50 district outside downtown Orlando at local favorite Cuban cafe Black Bean Deli. We're meeting with Jessica King, an event coordinator with Faire Orlando, a 2-day all-ages gathering of tech enthusiasts, engineers, inventors, and artists. I'm sitting down with her to present concept art and hopes to possibly be featured as an exhibit in this year's event. Hello.
Hey Skip, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks for meeting with me.
Always a pleasure. What do you want to talk about today?
After the success of last year's Maker Faire, and having the banana installation be such a big part of it, I really wanted to step things up a notch, and I wanted to see what you guys thought about my idea.
Tell me more.
Well, one of the things that I took away from last year's fair was I really wish the exploited installation was more interactive.
Right.
And just because of the concept of it and the design of it, it just really wasn't possible. So I want to design something this year that will actually be interactive.
Okay, that sounds really promising.
Do you remember the old Operation board games?
Yeah, it's got the little tweezers.
Exactly. So I wanted to do my version of it, and it's called Game of Stones. And so basically the guy on the table and in the game, he's suffering from a really poor diet. He's obese, he smokes, he doesn't exercise, and all of the pieces kind of reflect that. He's got the stick to your ribs, he's got the jelly rolls. So basically he's just in really bad shape.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So I want to create a tabletop-sized version that is fully interactive, and people can actually pull pieces out and compete against each other playing the game.
That sounds great. And maybe while people are playing, you can hand out information on healthy eating habits, exercise, things like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So does that sound like something you guys would be interested in having a part of the fair this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea, but I don't make these decisions by myself. So what I need you to do before then is go online and fill out the proposals like you did last year. We'll be meeting next week, so you should hear something back pretty soon.
Awesome. All right, so I'll go home, I'll fill out the proposal online, and hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right, thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello?
Hey, Skip, it's Jessica from Faire Orlando. Do you have a minute to chat?
Yeah, no, I'm just down here at Sam Flax. I'm putting the finishing touches up on a new mural. What's going on?
Well, I've got some good news for you.
I love good news.
So the team and I reviewed your submission, and we love it. We're going to be publishing the accepted exhibits for Maker Faire later this week, and I was calling to let you know that Game of Stones is definitely on that list.
Well, that's great. Please thank everyone on the committee for me. I'm really looking forward to being a part of this year's fair.
Absolutely, I will.
All right, well, that sounds good. I'll talk to you again soon.
Great. Have a good night. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Now that the submission process is out of the way, the next step is to complete my rough draft designs for the game board and box lid artwork. I'm enlisting the help of a close friend and local artist, Chris Tobar, to help us put the finishing touches on everything before sending it to print. Once finished, we can begin assembly of the frame, the game board, and the various electronic components that will help make this game fully functional. So far, things have gone off without much complication, so we should be right on schedule so long as nothing bad happens unexpectedly.
Deadly Hurricane Matthew hovers over Florida.
It's a monster and it's a killer already.
Packing winds of up to 140 miles per hour.
Skull image of Hurricane Matthew spooks the internet.
Go west. Go north. Get out of here.
This moves 20 miles to the west, and you and everyone you know are dead.
When you're from Florida, you know the weather is unpredictable. But with Maker Faire only weeks away, Hurricane Matthew couldn't have come at a worse time. While most were waiting in lines for hours to buy plywood and supplies to board up their homes, we were just trying to get the last of the materials we needed to stay on schedule. If this storm knocks out power for more than a day, we may not be able to finish this installation in time for Maker Faire, and that would be a disaster. We're here in College Park at the home woodworking studio of Daniel Wilkinson, who luckily still has power. It's the morning after the big hurricane, and despite tons of debris and down power lines, we managed to stay safe and on schedule. Daniel is a professional carpenter with experience in building everything from residential homes to custom cabinetry. He'll be helping us navigate the fabrication process of the Game of Stone game board, the outside frame, and the box lid cover. The inside walls of the wood frame hold the game board and plexiglass layers in place, and is then secured to the table with bolts that fasten the two together. The space between the game board and the table is too narrow to fit the speaker and the circuit box, so we're cutting holes in the table to accommodate both items while still keeping them hidden. In order to expedite the fabrication process, I'm jumping in on some work on the game board back at home. I'm using a jigsaw to cut out the shapes in the board in the exact same places in both the plywood and plexiglass that will line up perfectly with the game board artwork later. The sheet metal will serve as a point of contact for the electrical signal, and once installed, our next step will be the addition of the game's electronic circuitry. Located in Longwood, Florida, FamiLab is a maker and hackerspace that allows local creators to utilize the warehouse and staff to create projects in a safe and comfortable environment. Today we'll be meeting with Suraj Patel, one of FamiLab's staff engineers who will help us build the electronic circuits that'll bring this game to life. What is a circuit and how does it work? Well, let's find out.
A circuit is composed of a number of individual components connected by conductive wires through which electric current can flow. When a circuit is in a closed position, it means that the electric current is looping continuously from the component out through the conductive wire and then back into the component again. This state keeps the circuit in a permanent on position. When the conductive wire path is broken or interrupted, that means the circuit is now open and it is in the off position because the current can no longer cycle. However, if the two ends of the wire in this open section reconnect, it recloses the circuit and allows the electric current to reach the component once again. This ability to open and close this connection is referred to as a switch. Now, if we connect two metal objects to the end of each wire, in this case a pair of tweezers on one end and a small piece of sheet metal on the other, by touching the two ends together, we close the switch and allow the electric current to cycle again uninterrupted. We can also use this connection to trigger other components, like the speaker and this light bulb, and whenever the tweezers touch the sheet metal, it will close the switch, loop the electrical current, and activate both the light bulb and the sound of the speaker. This is the basic concept of electronic circuitry and what makes the Game of Stones possible.
Just like in that illustration, we soldered an array of components to create a signal path that will send a pre-programmed sound down to the speaker cone and send an electrical signal through to power the nose's light bulb socket. Now, once the signal path exits the components, which are housed in this electrical box, it then connects to the tweezers through a 1/4-inch jack. The other signal path exits the box and attaches to these metal sheets that are daisy-chained and placed at the mouth of each game piece. Touch the sides with the tweezers, and you lose the game. We're back again with Daniel Wilkinson to fabricate the box lid cover that'll fit atop the finished board game. With all the plywood boards of the box already measured and cut to size during our last visit, all that remains now is attaching them together. In order to create the strongest bond and seal between all 5 pieces, we're using both wood glue and a pneumatic staple gun. The word pneumatic means that the staple gun is powered by an air compressor, and the power of that compressor will drive those staples deep into both pieces of plywood, creating a solid bond between them. Now, once the plywood box lid is assembled, sanded, and then painted white, the final step will be to attach the artwork and seal the entire game cover. To accomplish this, I'm using an adhesive to attach the sheets of artwork first to all 5 surfaces, and then finish up by sealing the entire lid cover to protect from damage and also help maintain the vibrance and color of the prints. Last thing left now is painting the game pieces white, and once everything is dried, we can start packing for tomorrow's event. It's the big day at Central Florida Fairgrounds for Maker Faire Orlando, where tens of thousands of people have come to play, interact, and discover with some of the most exciting exhibits across the spectrum of science, engineering, art, performance, and craft. Today we'll play a host of BattleBots, cosplay, 3D simulators, old tech, new tech, and the Game of Stones game board, which I still need to set up. So let's get started.
I had a ton of fun playing Game of Stones. This thing is awesome.
The operation went pretty well. It was a little bit stressful.
Patient did not make it, although we did get everything out.
Some drama in parts, but in the end, I think he survived.
I had a lot of fun actually playing a real live version of Operation.
And I think that I want one of those in my house instead of like a foosball table. I want a Game of Stones table. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it.
Woo! Maker Faire is coming to a close and it's been an amazing day. The people that we've met, the exhibits have been spectacular, and it's been a real privilege getting to be a part of it. The process to getting here to today has been an uphill battle, and definitely the most difficult build out that we've had so far. We've had to deal with killer hurricanes, limited supplies, and working all the way down to the wire in order to be able to get it done in time. We're really proud of the accomplishments that we've made, and wouldn't have been able to do any of it without the help of our sponsors, Maker Faire Orlando, FamiLab Hackerspace, Daniel Wilkinson, and Chris Tobar. And to all of our online supporters and financial backers, we wouldn't have been able to create any of this without you, so thank you very much for your support. Please stay tuned to the next episode of Skip's Big Ideas, and until then, keep thinking big.